Good day, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Legend Knows Football TV. Let's talk Premier League. Let's talk where we are right now. After 26 matches played on each team, we are at the point where we can start seeing things happening in this league. Things, it's almost like deja vu, deja vu, especially with the match last night between Brentford and Arsenal. Arsenal playing away uh, uh, versus Brentford, and Arsenal did not look confident at all. I don't know if that was a side effect or an effect of Mikel Arteta being a little bit cautious in his approach to an away game, but definitely Arsenal did not look like a team that was going for this title, because if you are going for the title, you need to be full on, full force. You can still be cautious, and especially with the fact that Arsenal has a good defense. I know Saliba did not play last night, but there was Gabriel and Mosquera, and Mosquera definitely had a decent game. He made some vital blocks. Nonetheless, Arsenal should have taken the game to Brentford, because after the game last night, it's only 12 matches remaining, and with Man City on Arsenal's heels, like literally on their heels. I mean, it's now 4 points. Let's check at the table before we just browse into the stats of that specific match that took place last night, and just get an overview of where the Premier League is going, where we are at this point in time. As I am a Chelsea fan, and we also have our own struggles, but we are just going to focus on the top of the league first before we go down and work our way through the table. uh, as you can see in on this table, is that Arsenal is still sitting pretty at the top. Should I say pretty at the top? I mean, it's just 4 points. And Manchester City made some signings. They signed Semenyo, who is definitely in form. Doesn't he have like 8 goals in 8 matches in the Premier League? Bringing that form from the form that he was showing at Bournemouth, bringing it directly into the Man City starting 11, and contributing in the goals and assists. Mark Gay stabilizing that defense, that leaky Man City defense. So Man City is definitely, they are back on form, back in form, uh, and they are forced to be reckoned with again. The inconsistency, I think, is fading out from Man City. I think they're starting to get back to the olden ways, and Arsenal is not making it difficult for City, because I mean, these two teams still have to play each other. They still have to play each other, and Arsenal are not grabbing. They are not taking advantage of certain matches. I know Brentford isn't a team that they lost so many players. They lost Buemu. They lost, isn't it, Visa? They even lost their coach. But Brentford, it seems like they even leveled up. They even went a step further. I don't know how they do this, but they did it. They got that Thiago guy being an informed striker, contributing. He could have scored the winner last night, but Mosquera made a huge tackle at the end of the match. So let's check out the stats of last night's match. So let's look at the game that took place last night between Brentford and Arsenal. A very tight game, but I think Brentford should have won this game. I know I was just giving some praise to Thiago. Is it Iago or Thiago? But he had a chance. I don't know how Muslera recovered there, but I thought that he was a little bit relaxed on taking that chance, taking that shot. He could have been quicker about that shot. We could have made it 2-1, and Arsenal could have lost 2-1. But brilliant header from Madueke. Lewis Potter was brilliant for that Brentford side. And let's just look at the stats. 0.6 expected goals for Arsenal. The champions, the team that's about to win the league, has such a low XG. I know we don't like talking about stats, but might as well. Might as well. This just depicts that Arsenal did not show up. Look at the total shots. Brentford had 12 shots, Arsenal had 7 shots. And obviously Arsenal had a better passing accuracy, but big chances missed there. You can see Brentford had 2, Arsenal only had 1. Big chances, Brentford had 2. Arsenal only had one. Fouls committed, okay, this and that. Arsenal also had less corner kicks versus Brentford. So you can see that in all of those stats, all those you can see that Arsenal did not take the game to Brentford. They showed Brentford a lot of respect. I mean, and if you are going for the title, you cannot play like this. Regardless if it's an away game, you need to commit. You need to go for this title. You need to go full force. You can't be too cautious, because if you are being too cautious, you're going to drop points like Arsenal just did. They dropped points. And let's look at the lineups. In terms of Arsenal, Eze was nowhere to be seen. Eze, the guy that was informed, the guy that was making moves at Crystal Palace. I don't know what happened to Eze. Gyökeres, I'm still not convinced about Gyökeres. Trossard had his tries. He tried to be influential up front. Madueke, to be honest, the header that Madueke scored last night, the header that he scored, I think, what's the goalie's name? Is it Kelleher? He was just anticipating the ball to go to the left side of him, and then he went too far. He thought Madueke would head the ball down instead of heading it back across goal. And the goalie was just out of position, and that's how Madueke scored that goal. That wasn't just because Madueke had an insane game and he was doing things. No, Madueke just scored because the goalie was Kelleher. There's the name. Why am I? There's the name, Kelleher. He wasn't anticipating the header the right way. If that makes any sense. Lewis Potter, this guy had a nice game, man. Thiago should have scored, bruv. Quatara also had a decent game. This guy, I think it's him. Is he the one no, it's this one. Is that's the guy that does the long throws? But anyways, Arsenal drop points, and the gap, as we've seen in the Premier League table, the gap is now 4 points. With these two teams still having to face each other, I think it is at the Etihad. And the way Man City played against Fulham, they showed some conviction. They showed some intent. They showed that they are smelling blood. They are definitely smelling blood. So let's look at the upcoming fixtures for these two teams. Pardon if I have a stuffy nose, man. Allergies are acting up again. The next game for Man City is against Newcastle United. Newcastle United showed, didn't they play? I think they played against was it Spurs? But Spurs is also I don't know what's going on there. But Newcastle, they won against Spurs. Man City won against Fulham. So this is going to be an interesting game, and this is a must. Man City, if they want to do this, if they want to get Arsenal even more nervous, because these Arsenal players, they haven't won the league yet. They don't have the experience in doing that. So Man City needs to keep on piling the pressure on Arsenal by winning each and every fixture. And it's possible for them. But against Chelsea, I'm a Chelsea fan. I want to beat Man City. I have my own things going on. So I think we can beat Man City. With the right lineup, with the right mentality, with the right, players on the field, we can beat Man City. So the only fixture I see Man City not being able to win, or is against us. And Arsenal also has to play against us. So we can have a say. Chelsea we can have a say in this title race. We can put our stamp on this and decide. We can decide what's going to happen in this title, which makes this even more interesting. This storyline is even more interesting. Will Arteta finally be the bride, or will he still be the bridesmaid? That's a funny thing, man. It's a funny thing. But guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed the video so far. It's definitely going to be interesting. Let's look at Arsenal's fixtures. It's Wolves next. Wolves in the relegation zone. It seems like Wolves are going down, and then Spurs, and then us, and then Brighton, and then Brighton, and then Everton. So Arsenal, definitely everyone expects Arsenal to beat Wolves. Spurs maybe might have an Inter manager by then. Manager bounce. We don't know which Spurs side might job because they have the quality. Spurs also has quality players, you know. They also have quality players that can do a job on the day because they have been doing well in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe Arsenal might drop points there again. And of course, facing Chelsea. So between the two teams, I think Arsenal has the much more difficult fixtures. Much more difficult fixtures because of Spurs fighting the relegation. I mean, how desperate do you need to be? The desperation for Spurs is high at this point in time, and that can be a consequence. That can be a consequence to Arsenal's title charge because Spurs would want to win. They need the 3 points more than Arsenal needs the 3 points. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's going to be an interesting match. And for us, of course, Chelsea, we also want top four. We need top four. We are currently lying fifth with 44 points. Liverpool on our heels, 2 points behind us. So we also need to win when we get to face Arsenal on the 1st of March. We also want to win. We also want to win. So Arsenal are going to face teams that are definitely trying to have their teams that also have their own targets, you know. So it's going to be a difficult time. But in my personal opinion, if Arsenal keep on playing the way they played last night, I don't see them taking this title. I don't see them. I see them dropping more points because it's like Man City has gotten some form now, especially like I said with the signings that they made, the signings that they made, in the form they are showing as of recent. You can see Mark Gay, like I said, Mark Gay, he doesn't commit as quickly. He doesn't go down as quickly as other defenders. He anticipates, he stays on his feet, and he watches the ball, eyes on the ball, and that's how he defends. Cool, calm, collected. So I don't know, man. I think Arsenal is going to slip up, but it makes for an interesting story. Very, very interesting. This is how the league should be. It shouldn't just be one team running away with the league, and this is what we like. This is why we watch this league, because it's not always just clear cut winners. You know, there's a lot of storylines taking place during the season, and that's why we like it, guys. So if you have enjoyed the video, guys, once again, just leave a like, subscribe to the channel as we continue with this league, man. We continue with this league, and what more can I say? It's interesting. To sum it all up, Arsenal are going to drop points. Man City are going to pass them, and they're gonna have to try again next year. But guys, stay safe, leave a like, subscribe. I will see you in the next upload. Cheers, and God bless.